Welcome to Biohacking with Brittany. Thank you for tuning into today's episode. This is a Q&A. This is a new segment that I'm doing every single Friday where I sit down to answer your burning health questions. These are pulled from my DMs solely, maybe sometimes in person, but usually it's from my DMs. And it's just a great way for me to be able to give you feedback and value way more than I could actually answer you in a message on Instagram. So I love doing this. I think it's just very helpful for people. And it's also great for my listeners to just hear a diversity of health topics and wellness and actually hear what people are curious about as well. So these are always curated within the past week. And as I've actually started to make this a segment, I'm actually getting more questions, which is fun. And I'm just loving this like back and forth, like little community that we are creating. One of the podcasts that I listened to, I submitted a question and never heard back. So I know what that's like to be like, oh, I want them to answer this question. But, nothing came from it. And I wonder if it was because my question was actually not necessarily in relation to this person's like target audience. I guess I can just talk about it openly, but I wrote down a question on Ben Greenfield's website. He has this like little question box. And my question, I think it was a while ago. I think it was about like biohacking during pregnancy or birth. Yeah, I actually think it was like what biohacks or how would you optimize birth now that you've had your twins like years ago? Like what would you recommend type of thing? And this was before I gave birth and heard nothing from him. It was never answered on his show. And that was obviously months and months ago. And I do actually think it's because, women giving birth is not Ben Greenfield's like niche or target audience or anything like that. So that's okay. Maybe I'll ask him in person when I see him in Austin, although I don't really need the answers anymore, but would be cool to kind of look into that. And so with the questions that I do, it's a lot about women's health, motherhood, and how do we biohack and optimize womanhood and motherhood, and in this space of, high performance, non-toxic health. And so, yeah, I'm excited to bring you questions. And if you have any questions, send me a message on Instagram and I will answer them. And make sure you subscribe because sometimes I answer questions and I don't tell people I've answered them on the podcast yet. This is like a new segment. We're still kind of fine-tuning the operations around it. So make sure you subscribe in case your question actually does get answered. You can subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or even on YouTube if you really want. But that is where I'm at. Okay. And before we dive in, a shout out to Wellness. You guys love this brand. So do I. I use their toothpaste. It is a hydroxyapatite. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but hydroxyapatite based toothpaste. So that means that is the active ingredient versus using fluoride. It helps to remineralize the teeth, helps to clean the teeth properly, and it doesn't have any neurotoxins in it, which is what fluoride is. So I love this. I use the baby one for my son. It's strawberry flavored, super cute. I've tasted it. I've tested it. Totally fine. He loves it. Honestly, he just sucks on the toothpaste, on the toothbrush right now. He has 2 little teeth that have come up. And so it gives me a lot of peace of mind using a toothpaste that I know is safe for him. He's only 7 months old. And so something I definitely think about. And then we use the whitening one. And then we also have the charcoal one as well. And there's the cinnamon one as well. So there's multiple. I love Wellness. I think they check all the boxes in terms of clean products and clean toothpastes. And I'm excited to see what is coming down the pipeline for them. They were actually just on my podcast, so I can link to that episode if you're interested. And we dive deep into oral health, the oral microbiome, how to support it and not destroy it, and everything along the lines of that. If you use my link, you get 12% off of all of their products, including deodorant, skincare, hair care, toothpaste, all their oral stuff as well. Definitely check them out, support them. That is the brand by Wellness Mama, Katie Wells, who is obviously a force in this space. And I'm just so happy that yeah, she is creating products that really support our health from the inside out. All right, let's dive into the first question of today's episode. This person wrote to me. She told me that she listened to my podcast episode on red light therapy for fertility, pregnancy, and postpartum. And she was asking about red light therapy being safe during pregnancy. So I will link to that episode so that you can fully hear way more detail than I'm going to explain right now. But I think this is a great question. So red light therapy is a fascinating tool. It is very common in the biohacking space, and it works by stimulating the mitochondria, which are the tiny powerhouses within our cells. We all learned that in, grade 5 science. To produce ATP, more ATP, which is the body's main source of energy. So this increased ATP production helps cells function more efficiently, leading to benefits like enhanced skin health, including reducing wrinkles, scars, and acne, faster wound healing, improved circulation and reduced inflammation, and boosted collagen and elastin production. So during pregnancy specifically, there's so much that is changing in your body. So how can we actually take this biohack and use it in a safe way for some of the challenges that we might be experiencing during pregnancy? So the first one that we can really look at is skin and the skin changes that happen. During pregnancy, skin undergoes significant changes due to rapid weight gain and hormonal fluctuations. Red light therapy can help address stretch marks. So when the skin stretches faster than collagen and elastin can keep up, stretch marks form. Red light therapy boosts collagen production, helping skin maintain its elasticity. And then cellulite. As fat cells grow beneath the skin, they create a dimpled appearance. Red light therapy increases blood flow and stimulates collagen, which may reduce cellulite over time. After I kind of explain all this, I'm going to talk to you about what I did and the products I recommend, by the way. So you have the skin, you have the stretch marks, you have the cellulite. Then we also have the mental aspect of pregnancy, prenatal, postnatal, postpartum depression, mood. So beyond skin health, red light therapy is also being studied right now, actually, as a natural treatment for prenatal and postpartum depression. Pregnancy-related depression affects 1 in 10 women, and while antidepressants are commonly used, some mothers prefer alternatives due to concerns about fetal exposure, which is rightfully so. Thankfully, people are looking outside of pharmaceuticals. Light therapy has been extensively studied for seasonal affective disorder, and similar mechanisms may help with non-seasonal depression as well. A 2011 Swiss study found that a 5-week light therapy program significantly improved depression symptoms in pregnant women with minimal side effects. Another 2019 review of laser therapies during pregnancy concluded that cutaneous laser treatment poses no risk to mother or fetus, meaning red light therapy, which has even lower wavelengths, is considered safe. So, how can we use red light therapy during pregnancy? If you have a panel, this is what I would do. I would position the red light therapy 0.5 meter away from you. So kind of like half of your arm length away from the area that you're targeting. You could use it for 10 to 20 minutes per session. If you're using it by your face, wear protective eyewear and do it 3 to 5 times a week. Avoid excess heat or direct exposure to the abdomen for longer periods. For moms who want to support natural skin support and mood regulation during pregnancy, red light therapy can be powerful, and it's obviously research backed, and there's more research being done right now. What I would recommend, and knowing this background, if you're experiencing stretch marks on your stomach and on your abdomen, personally, I would wait until after you've given birth to use red light therapy on them. I had no stretch marks at all on my abdomen or belly, but I actually had stretch marks underneath my breasts. And I think they're still kind of there, but they naturally went away. So this is actually something I would look into for the stretch marks on my breasts. I just haven't done anything about it. And I definitely had cellulite and still do. Oh my gosh, I have cellulite on my butt and on the back of my thighs. And I've never tried to use red light therapy for it, but I think this is a very interesting idea. So again, if you are wanting to use it for skin, I would keep it a safe distance away for a panel. Don't overdo it. Don't overheat it, and be a little bit cautious about where it's going on your body. So like I explained, right? Like the way that red light therapy works is it is used through the light to target the mitochondria to increase the ATP in the cells of the area that you're targeting. Meaning, if you're targeting like your cellulite on the back of your thighs, it's not like it travels up to where your baby is in your abdomen, right? It's only where that target area is. So just be mindful of that, which means that there is a safe way to use it without actually impacting your baby at all. So I would think about that. And then for skin, I would get the face mask. I have the face mask from HigherDose. I will link it in the show notes. I love it. I actually need to start using it daily. And I honestly, looking back, I don't know why I didn't use it during pregnancy, because I had so much melasma on my skin. Oh my gosh. It looked like I had spent 9 months under the sun. My cheeks were so brown. I had so much melasma. And so I would strongly suggest using a face mask. The nice thing about a face mask is you can put it on and you can still do things around the house. And there's zero risk of it being targeted, you using it anywhere else. Like the red light is not going to go anywhere else because it's just directly on your face. And I think that is completely safe during pregnancy. And I highly recommend that. I need to start doing that actually for fine lines and wrinkles, because your girl, I am looking like I'm 15 no more. So I definitely need to use that. And after having my DNA tested, I know that I'm actually more prone to wrinkling faster, which sucks. But what can I do? And I'm actually more prone to cellulite too. That was part of my DNA results. So, there's the good and the bad. The good is that I'm not prone to gray hair whatsoever. So, that's nice. But the skin is tricky for me. So that's something that I would definitely recommend. Then if we're talking about mental health, the way that you can use red light therapy to help with this is to use it on your forehead and on your head. Because again, the way that red light therapy works is it's on that target area. So if you use it on your legs, it's not going to help with your mental health, right? Like that's not how that works. So you really want the red light therapy to penetrate into your brain to help stimulate the cells right there. And that is what has actually been proven to help with postpartum depression and prenatal depression and mental health. So the way that you could do that is even the face mask, because it will include the forehead, or you could get a hat. I recently got a hat. Again, it's from HigherDose because I am trying to reduce my postpartum hair loss. And I'm actually so impressed, guys. I'm not kidding. My hair is doing really great. And I seriously think red light therapy has been a part of that, because I use my hat every single day for 10 minutes. I was so serious about it, and it's been 3 months. And I was really, really serious about not losing a lot of hair during postpartum. Strongly recommend. I was so serious about it that the hat is actually not even available in Canada. I bought it in the States, sent it to my friend in the States, and she sent it to me in Canada. And so me and my husband use it every single day to help with reducing any hair loss. So I would do that. And that's kind of my recommendation. So to this person who sent me this question, what is your concern that you're working on? Is it skin? Is it hair? Is it mental health? Use a device that's targeted to that specific area. Be cautious of overheating and overdoing the light on your abdomen. And then really ask the question, is it going to make a difference during pregnancy? Or is this something that I can do postpartum, or both? That is where I stand with that. But I think it's a great tool. And, it's so popular. Okay, next question. Toothpaste. We all need it and use it daily. But have you ever read the ingredients of your toothpaste or noticed the FDA poison warning on there? If not, keep on listening for some surprising information that your dentist might not be sharing with you. Fluoride has long been a common ingredient in many commercial toothpastes, hailed for its ability to prevent cavities. However, recent studies have raised concerns about the potential health risks associated with fluoride exposure. These risks include thyroid dysfunction, dental fluorosis, skeletal fluorosis, and potential neurotoxicity. Given these concerns, wellness offers a safer alternative that doesn't compromise our health, yet remains effective. Why choose Wellness toothpaste? It is founded by wellness mama Katie Wells, and Wellness is dedicated to natural health and uses hydroxyapatite instead of fluoride, a game changer in oral care. Here's why it is a better choice. It's fluoride free, eliminating all the health risks that I just talked about. The natural hydroxyapatite formula strengthens enamel and whitens your teeth. Plus, it's crafted from natural ingredients, gentle on gums, and eco-friendly. I love it. I use it all the time. I love the taste of it, and I don't think I will switch to anything else. So make the switch for yourself today to Wellness toothpaste. Visit wellness.com and use code BIOHACKINGBRITTANY for 12% off your order. That's wellness spelled WELLNESSE.com. Safeguard your health with Wellness because your smile deserves the best. Did you give your baby 400 IUs of vitamin D? If so, which brand do you recommend? Good question. I actually was just listening to this on a podcast episode very, very recently. So vitamin D3 or vitamin D is essential for babies. It's essential for bone development, immune function, and calcium absorption. The standard recommendation is 400 IUs of vitamin D daily for breastfed babies, as breast milk is often considered insufficient in vitamin D unless the mother is supplementing. So I'm going to kind of break this down a bit in terms of the best option to the, I don't want to say worst, but like the least ideal option. So assuming your baby is being breastfed, okay, which you actually didn't clarify in your question, so I don't know, but assuming your baby is being breastfed in some way through a bottle or through nursing, this is the best thing you can do in terms of vitamin D. While most pediatricians might recommend vitamin D drops, research actually shows that maternal diet plays a key role in transferring enough vitamin D through breast milk. And how do you get enough vitamin D? The first thing is nutrition. So moms who have a very, very nutrient-dense diet that is rich in vitamin D foods doesn't necessarily need to actually supplement with vitamin D herself or give her baby vitamin D. Vitamin D foods include wild-caught fatty fish, so salmon, sardines, mackerel, pasture-raised eggs, raw dairy products. I know I said raw dairy. Uh-oh. But it's true. And cod liver oil, which I'm going to touch on in a second. A study from Scandinavia actually found that even in regions with minimal winter light, babies maintain adequate vitamin D levels when their mothers ate a nutrient-rich diet that had enough of this vitamin D in it. So first and foremost, mama, please be getting enough vitamin D foods in. This will help your breast milk be more rich in vitamin D, which then gives your baby vitamin D. And research has shown that when you do this, you actually don't need to supplement at all, even if you are not getting a lot of sunlight. So keep that in mind. If you're hearing this and you're thinking, I don't know if I'm getting enough salmon in every week. I don't know if my eggs are pasture raised. You're concerned that you yourself are not getting enough vitamin D through your diet, or maybe, I guess we'll talk about formula in a second. Then what we can actually look at is still mama supplementing through cod liver oil, which would be the next best thing. So for moms who want an alternative to direct vitamin D drops, cod liver oil is a great option as it contains natural vitamin D and omega-3s to support brain development. This is a great way. Cod liver oil is great because it's like a holistic supplement. It's like you're taking the cod liver oil, and inside that cod liver is vitamin A, omegas, and vitamin D, versus you taking a synthesized synthetic vitamin D drop that's been made in a lab that has no other cofactors in it that help with absorption or even nutrients in general. So I take, and I will link this from Amazon, I take the green Pasture fermented cod liver oil. This is the only fermented cod liver oil I've been able to find. This is very much aligned with Western A Price. This is the brand that they recommend, very nutrient dense, and it is the most bioavailable form of cod liver oil due to fermentation, preserving the nutrients naturally versus heating it up and clarifying it or purifying it, whatever word you want to use, and then selling it like that. So if you're going to buy cod liver oil for yourself or even for your baby, make sure it is fermented. And the gold standard brand that is always recommended is Green Pasture. It's not cheap, but it's available on Amazon, so it's easy to get. If you don't want to get that one, you could get the Nordic Naturals one, and they also have a baby DHA. I have this. I've been giving this to my baby. It's a clean, high quality choice, but it's not fermented. And I got this a while ago and I'm almost out. And now that I'm out, I will be swapping to Green Pasture fermented cod liver oil for my son as well. So essentially what this means is like diet is best for mama. And then if she takes cod liver oil, that is a great source of vitamin D for her if she's not getting enough through her diet, which can then be absorbed into her breast milk and the baby gets. Or you can give baby cod liver oil himself or herself. So my son loves cod liver oil. We've had no issues whatsoever of him taking it. You can start with the Nordic Naturals baby DHA one if you want. I'll link to it. And it has a little dropper. It is cod liver oil. It's not some other omegas or anything synthesized or synthetic like that. It is cod liver oil. It's just not fermented. So it's not the gold standard, but it's still better than just taking vitamin D drops. Again, now that I'm almost out, I will be switching my son to Green Pasture. The fermented cod liver oil also comes with a dropper, and he'll just take that one, which is more bioavailable. But, like I said, because I eat a diet that's rich in eggs and fish, and I take cod liver oil, I really actually don't even need to be giving it to him. But for me, I feel like I want him to have the extra omegas, the extra vitamin D, and the extra vitamin A that comes from it. So that's kind of why I have chosen to also give it to him. But I also don't give it to him every single day. So maybe just 2 or 3 times a week. And then last but not least, you can give your baby vitamin D drops. I don't think this is the best of the best, but if accessibility is an issue, if affordability is an issue in terms of you don't want to buy a cod liver supplement or you don't want to spend money on your diet yourself, I guess you could take vitamin D drops, and I will link the ones that I have used. There are ones by Nordic Naturals, and then there's organic baby D drops, which is also a good option. So if you're breastfeeding and eating a nutrient-dense diet rich in vitamin D, your baby may not need supplementation, but I would really, really suggest cod liver instead of just the vitamin D drops. There's just way more nutrients there. There's way more you get, way more value there as well that you can look at. Now, if your baby is not breastfed and is using formula, I know vitamin D is added to formula, so you really wouldn't even need to supplement with any more. The formula that I would recommend, not that I've ever used formula myself, so this is just like very basic and off of what I know because they came on my podcast, is the Serenity Kids baby formula. You can get this in Canada and in the States, and it is based off of A2 type of cows and milk. It's a whole nother discussion. You can listen to my podcast episode with them. This seems to be the most nutrient dense one I've seen. So I would look at the Serenity Kids one, or I would look at the other one that's really good is Bobbie, which I don't know if it's available in Canada, but I think it's definitely in the States. And a note on the Serenity Kids one, it is written as like a toddler formula because of regulation issues, but it's safe for babies. And we talk about that on my podcast episode with them. Definitely check that out if you are looking for something like that. And last but not least, a common question that I get, which is so trendy right now, is about cold plunging as a mom. Are cold plunges safe for moms? Makes sense. This is such a big trend right now in so many different ways. And we can even take a look at why cold plunges are kind of trending in the first place. It has really exploded in popularity with athletes and celebrities and health experts really talking about its benefits for fat loss and inflammation reduction and mental resilience. So, there's so many different benefits that you get from it. And there's actually a lot of science behind it. So when you expose your body to cold water, 50 degrees Fahrenheit or lower, your nervous system releases norepinephrine, which boosts alertness, mood, and circulation. Studies show that even 2 minutes, which is not very long, cold immersion can cause a massive dopamine release, leading to prolonged improvements in mood and focus. So there is quite a bit of research behind this, depending on how you look at it. And there is a lot of like hormonal cascade that happens. So we can kind of take a look at, is it safe for moms in this respect? So obviously, I think if you are past your postpartum phase, it's safe. Why wouldn't it be? But if we're talking more specifically, I think this question came from somebody who is actually in her postpartum era. It can be really amazing for recovery. So cold exposure can help new mamas with reducing postpartum inflammation and soreness. So if you have like a lot of back pain or shoulder pain from breastfeeding or carrying your baby, even like tight hips or hip pain from sitting a lot, or core, like your core becomes so weak after you give birth. So there's a lot of recovery that needs to kind of happen there, and it can be really great for that. It enhances blood circulation, so this helps healing after birth. And then it supports mental clarity and resilience. And we know this is really important, especially for women who potentially are dealing with, depression, anxiety, OCD, stress in that first year after giving a baby. So after having a baby. So this can be really, really helpful in that space. There are a little like concerns or things to kind of keep in mind is like cold plunging can cause vasoconstriction, which reduces circulation to extremities. So this can be stressful for a body already adjusting to postpartum hormonal shifts, sleep deprivation, and breastfeeding demands, which we know is a lot. A way to kind of watch this would be to start slow. Just with like any other biohack really in this space, we really want to be making this applicable for women and not going, as I say, balls to the wall, like doing it every single day for a period of time and overstressing the body. So let's start slow. You can do contrast showers. So that's alternating between warm and cold water. And this can kind of provide similar benefits without the extreme stress of full body immersion that can kind of come. You can do like 30 seconds cold after a hot shower. So just ending your shower in cold water is a great way to start. You can kind of gradually build up to short plunges, maybe 1 or 2 minutes max. And really just making sure you're listening to your body and avoiding excessive stress. For those well adjusted to cold exposure pre-pregnancy, continually cautiously postpartum may be beneficial, but if you're new to it, contrast showers or ending in a cold shower at the end is the best place to start. Just be very, very mindful of this. I wouldn't go into an ice bath. I wouldn't go into a sauna and then a cold plunge. Like start small and see how your body feels. But I do think there's a lot to say about recovery, reducing inflammation in the body, reducing pain that can be shoulders, back, hips, pelvis, anywhere, helping with mental clarity and getting out of that like fog that you can kind of be in postpartum, depression, even anxiety, stress. It can really just give you that little boost because of the norepinephrine. So it's just kind of like making sure that you don't go overboard with it. I would do it maybe 2 to 3 times a week at max. Start once. For me right now, I'm not actually doing any cold therapy really. It's winter and it's really cold where I am already, and it's not something I'm into. But in the summer, I will definitely be doing like a mix of sauna and then going into my cold plunge outside and that type of thing. And actually, when I gave birth, it was July. So it was midsummer and I was doing cold therapy right afterwards, but very gentle, 1 or 2 minutes. And my tolerance was actually a lot lower. So just really listening to your body and being aware, like things aren't what they were pre-pregnancy, pre-birth. So let's just be gentle. And yeah, I hope that's helpful. But yeah, the bottom line is it's completely safe for women in their postpartum era, or even, mama's motherhood in general. Pregnancy, different discussion. We can answer that another week. Okay. That wraps up today's Q&A. If you found this episode helpful, please send me your questions on Instagram at biohackingbrittany, and I might feature them in my next episode. If you love this episode, share it with another mom or woman who is into biohacking. And please don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into optimizing wellness and motherhood and longevity. And I will see you next time. Thanks for listening to another episode of Biohacking with Brittany. If you're interested in finding the show notes or the sponsors for this episode, you can do so on my website, which is biohackingbrittany.com. Remember to follow me on Instagram, where I'm most active. My handle is at biohackingbrittany. And if you're interested in working together and you want to email me directly, you can do that. My email is info@biohackingbrittany.com. And I look forward to hearing from you and having you tune in next week.